So here we are. Most of the apples have now been harvested for about a month now, quietly hiding in storage, in my case in the garage, smelling sweetly, always ripening. If like me you don't have a cold room, then we are in a race to save these scrumptious, juicy apples. Although we are eating our way through many of these delicious beauties, it is not possible for us to consume this many apples before they succumb to rot via bug damage. So whether you grow your own, have been gifted a box, or have been to the farmer's market, today I'm going to embark on a delicious journey into making some mouth-watering products we'll enjoy all year. Let's start with sorting and preparing the apples. Size is important, as is the state of the apple. Small needs to be selected out to use for a full rounded sweet apple juice. As who wants to peel these dinky fruits? Not me. Large magnificent fruits need to be selected for the fruit bowl. Yellowed skins of a good size are great for chewy apple rings as they get derobed. Once sorted, washing is essential to get rid of any muck. Add a bit of baking soda, often shortened to bicarb here in the UK, into some water, and a cloth will do the trick. And now we are ready to create our scrumptious delights. Apple rings are a tasty autumn flavour with the warming addition of cinnamon that not only tastes amazing but hides any browning that may occur. You can create these manually or use a whirligig like me, but via knife or gadget we need to get the apples cored and sliced into rings. You can choose yourself if you want them peeled or not. Our family scoffs them down when peeled. This multi-peeler is so satisfying to use and makes a great sound while speeding up the process. Okay, we are getting a good amount now. The lemon in the water helps prevent too much browning whilst we work, and an old tea towel helps me keep the mess contained. It is stained with the cinnamon, so don't use your favourite one. A quick rinse and then into the washing will sort it out for next time. This also reduces the amount of cleaning needed on the dehydrator rack, which can be so finicky with all those tiny little nooks and crannies. Now it's time to play Tetris with your apple discs and get them into your dehydrator or oven. How long? It depends on how long you wish to store them, or more to the point, how long they will last before they get gobbled up. We like them bendy, as they will get consumed quickly. If you are looking for months of storage, you need to make sure they get crispy. Bendy took me around 6 hours as a loose guide. Apple butter, also known as apple jam. This delicious classic fruit butter, or what is basically an apple jam, is a family favourite of ours. It always graces our pantry shelves every year and uses up the apples that you'd begrudge making into the apple juice because they're too large for that, but are too small for anyone to bother cutting up to eat. It has a subtle sweet flavour with which the autumnal warming spices and citrus twist creates a lovely soft spread that we enjoy on our pumpkin waffles, steamed sponges, scones, and also on my morning porridge. Let's get started with our washed apples. We're going to create an apple staple. I'm sure you know what I'm going to make. Yeah, we need apple puree to create this pantry asset. Oh, the food mill certainly gives a workout for the arms. Originally, this recipe is from the Preserving Book by Lydia Brown. I am working to the English jam to fruit ratio 50-50, so I fiddled with it a bit. So it's easy to replicate the recipe from what you have available. Due to the sugar content and acidity of our jam, I will also do the English version of jarring. There's no canning required, but if you wish to, I'm sure it would work. But I'm not sure of the headspace and so on. As the water evaporates, the viscous liquid becomes more of a textured paste. Too much moisture and the preserve will not set. Oh, and don't leave it unattended, as you'll get a scorched jam on the base of the pan. Caramelised is delicious, burnt not so much. Watch out for the spitting bubbles too. If the boil gets too lively, it is like molten lava, trust me. Ouch. The mixture gradually turns from a sallow yellow-green colour to a golden honey colour. Testing time. Let's hope it reached setting point. Hurrah! Time to jar up. The eagle-eyed of you would have spotted that my jars were sterilising whilst I was dehydrating granola. Each jar of loveliness topped off with its lid and the thrill or jump scare of the periodic pop sound of that seal. Fantastic. When there is not enough to fill another jar, I use a ramekin to use immediately. Oops, a bit full, but waste not, want not. Super. Another yummy preserve to fill my pantry shelves up. An enticing autumn treat promising warmth and sweetness. If you are finding value in my videos, please click the appropriate buttons. It really helps me out and tells YouTube it's worth showing others like us. Apple juice. I don't like wasting things, so to use up all those tiny apples off the tree, or if like us you have a tree that bears apples that don't seem to taste of anything, apple juice could be the solution. This amber nectar gathers all the sugars and discards the fibre. Normally I would think of this as a negative, but here we are, saving fruit from the depths of the compost, or finding taste where there was none. After all of the apples were given a bath, we halved them to check for damage and removed it, tossing each one unceremoniously into the white bucket. Once we had a fair few, we tried out our new toy. You can get these on Amazon for around the £20 mark, and much posher apple scratters on apple transforming websites. The official ones go into the hundreds of pounds and up. As we have the skills and the materials, we decided to fashion our own. So here we go. Hopefully chopped up apples will be revealed. Great, it worked! Before I would put them through a food processor, constantly concerned it would be the end of my machine due to excessive exertion, hence this trial. Next up is squeezing the juice out of the pulp. If you only have a bit, a muslin and squeezing will do, but we have lots each year and so invested in an apple press. You can also see from the mauve hue that when we have had a glut of blackberries, they go through here to create cordial, using the finer bag though. Loading up the cylindrical torture device for apples and the juice begins to flow. Lemon juice in each batch to halt oxidization. More and more pressure put on the apples with each twist, squeezed until the pulp is dry. If we had a pig, they would get this dry pulp, but we don't, so the composter gets it. Keeping up with the golden flow is a race to fill the containers. Working on volume, not storage at the moment, all collected. Now let's work on the preservation of this apple treat, as we don't want to consume this much sugar over the next few days. Blimey. You can filter more of the particles out here if you want, or leave it, up to you. Juice is now cooked, 88 degrees, hot, hot, hot. There is added lemon juice already, and now I need a bubbling cauldron of juice decanted into bottles that just fit into my humongous pot. I have decided if I am to continue on my canning adventure, I want to get a temperature-controlled water bath to contain my concoctions, but not today. Moving into the garage to the gas camping stove, as my electric kitchen stove auto turns off, so we don't get up to the 100 degrees that we need. Up to that 100 degrees, slowly, slowly. We're there! 10 minutes at 100 degrees, and lid off for 5 after it's finished. Finally our winnings out onto the cloths to cool and hopefully pop and seal. Well, what a time we have had. Dehydrating, jamming and boiling to get a smorgasbord of goodies. Apple rings are certainly a more exciting addition to the lunchbox. No more apples bouncing around at school and then returning home whole but bruised, or with a few bites taken out. Jam available to smother on what delights we choose, and a sweet, cooling beverage to enjoy throughout the year. You may be wondering why I didn't just throw away the apples with bug damage, or maybe you really understand. Our hard work at every stage, from growing the fruit to harvesting and storing it, makes me waste less, as I appreciate what it took to get to this point. I hope you enjoyed this journey. If you want to watch more, try this video.